For TeCK Alliance, I'm Arms Bumanlag. Locally, Windsor, Essex is not only unique in North America with its proximity to the US and vast growing areas, but the Rose City is on the precipice of some of the most significant development and investment ever seen, from the Gordie Howe Bridge to the new mega hospital to the battery plant. The University of Windsor is on the forefront in research along with several key partnerships. I spoke with Tom Schnekenburger on how the common thread is tech and how the sky's the limit for YQG.
We've done a really good job as a region, as an ecosystem, and as a set of core partners at working together really well and leveraging each other's strengths and resources. And typically, it's for the benefit of our partners, and we don't want to see that. We're supporting local businesses, we're supporting our community partners. So, at the University of Windsor, we work really well with St. Clair College and collaborative applied research projects with Invest Windsor Essex and the Automobility and Innovation Group, and partnering up on automobility projects, and the City of Windsor looking at how we can use research to improve, the residents of cities Windsor's lives. And so it's really been great to kind of see everybody come together and make sure that that everybody's kind of gathering value from the research we're doing. But outside of that, then we've got really strong collaborations with the Ontario Vehicle Innovation Network. Invest Windsor Essex has been leading that program up, and we've seen great partnerships come out of that, especially within the SHIELD Automotive Cybersecurity Center of Excellence. And then the University of Windsor just partnered with the Windsor Essex County Health Unit to launch a new health campus on the University of Windsor campus, but also looking at a health innovation park that could be used regionally to kind of really support the future of healthcare in the region. So it's some pretty exciting stuff.
It's funny you should say that about healthcare, Tom, because that's one of the many factors I think that are going to continue to see growth here. I mean, you sort of correlate that, well, you have to correlate that with the new hospital coming. But there are so many investments coming to the area. I mean, we've seen the Gordie Howe Bridge that continues to be developed on our shores and the United States shores. You've got the battery plant, which is continuing construction, an influx of more people coming to the region for these jobs. I guess all of these are going to have a strong impact on the future of Windsor Essex. So I guess there are some areas of research in those industries and community areas that the U is sort of spearheading to see that strong impact for those particular industries in the region.
Yeah, I think there's a number of kind of emerging zones that the university is really focused on, and each one kind of correlates to a specific criteria or a specific priority area in Windsor Essex that we think that the research being done can enhance the economic development and the opportunities for the people of Windsor Essex. And so you mentioned a couple of them, like healthcare is a undergoing a massive disruption right now in the broadest sense of the word. So, then we at the University of Windsor can look across faculties and look at things like med tech, biotech, medical engineering, adding communications to simple procedures. You're seeing even, people on YouTube, you're seeing, conducting surgeries using 5G from across the world. Now, we're not doing that at the University of Windsor, but it's a kind of a microcosm of what's possible. And then we're seeing it in, automotive. We're with the battery plant, seeing the shift from traditional automotive research into automobility or connected, autonomous, secure electric. And we have one of Canada's top labs for electric vehicle motor design in Canada. That's happening in our backyard. But a few of the other areas that the University of Windsor is really kind of seeing this transition or this emerging research in is the environment and sustainability. So working with the Great Lakes Institute for Environmental Engineering, they're working on preserving waterways. They're working on preserving the Great Lakes. Really interesting work on kind of biodiversity. Advanced manufacturing is kind of a big buzzword right now. There's lots of cliche nomenclature around it, but factory 4.0, industry 4.0, like all of that is out in the world. But what it means is the transition from traditional manufacturing sectors to including connectivity, machine learning, automation, to make sure that we're being more productive with the resources that we have, but also giving our skilled workers the ability to transition into a more automated environment and making sure that we can keep that high skilled labor here in Windsor Essex. And then one that I've been working on a lot lately, and I've seen a really strong increase in both the amount of research, but in the interest in the space, is agriculture. Windsor Essex has 4,500 acres of greenhouses in our space. It's second to only the Netherlands. We have a $3 billion a year industry here, but it's one of those last industries that hasn't really been overcome by technology, but that's starting. There's a big increase in the amount of funding for R&D in agriculture and greenhouse technology spaces, and the University of Windsor can be a really strong player in that area. So I think when we talk about the region, these are really interesting areas that the university, and specifically the research, the applied research, and the partnerships we have can add a lot of value to those in the area.
Tom, you mentioned sort of the term disrupting, and it seems to me I'm a Windsor guy, born and bred, right? I've been here for 41 years. Don't plan on leaving anywhere. But the kind of investment that we've seen here, I think, and the commitment that we've seen in the last 5 to 6 years for what's ahead for the next 20 to 25 and 50 years, and the way we're sort of shifting, I don't want to say out of that auto mentality, because automotive is still very much our core, but you mentioned greenhouses, you mentioned healthcare, disrupting, I think, right across the board to change the kind of mindsets and to get to the next generation, the students, to realize, the careers are here, the research is here. This sort of feeds into the beast, so to speak, about, creating jobs and creating sustainability for what this city, what this region can offer, not only on a local stage, but I think very much a global stage too.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of that comes down to how we talk about the research that we're doing at the University of Windsor, how we communicate that, but also who we partner with as well. It's fantastic to have students come up with ideas and really kind of push their expertise forward in a particular domain. But it's also very important for to have partners at the table, to have the industry, local industry, the national industry come to Windsor, see the work that we're doing, and want to enhance the work that they're doing inside their organizations by leveraging the expertise with us. There's so many great opportunities for community organizations, municipalities, or just whoever it is looking to enhance their business or their organization, to come to the University of Windsor and say, how can you guys help us out? How can we leverage the infrastructure, leverage the students, leverage the expertise, and really kind of make that difference here locally? So I think it's partially how we talk about ourselves, but also kind of looking outwardly and trying to see who we're engaging with as well.
And finally here, Tom, you'd said about see who you're engaging with too. I mean, not to disparage anything throughout the years, but very much I think institutions have operated in silos for so long, and they haven't really broken down those walls. And I think if the COVID-19 pandemic has shown us everything, is that sometimes our weaknesses are our strengths. So if we can partner with other organizations to fill those needs, and I think that's what the University of Windsor is doing, and doing well, is to team up with all of these different sectors to say, what are the needs? How can we sort of supplement that? And then you're creating sort of this synergy, I would think, through the different industries and from an educational perspective, to say, we're getting that real world experience, we're getting that real world input, and able to fill the need, as the students continue to move through their education, and eventually as they leave their education, be able to be in the real world in our community.
Oh, without question. And I think part of that is we have to be, as an institution and as partners, willing to be open to the possibilities, and willing to try to really dig into the problem and understand where we can add value. And that idea of adding value is very important. Now, there's some trade-offs and incentives when it comes to university research, and we have to be clear with our partners on understanding, the speed of graduate studies versus the speed of commercializing a product and getting it into market. But I think the more open and collaborative the university is with our partners and with our community members, the better the partnerships are going to turn out to be. And I think we've done a good job of being in the rooms and having those dialogues with our partners to really create strong value. And to that point, I did want to point out a couple of people that are doing some really incredible research at the University of Windsor. Like, this is there's some groundbreaking work in here. But I think what these highlight is kind of looking at our broader challenge set as a community, as a country, and then kind of localizing some of that work so that we can push that forward. So first one I want to highlight is Dr. Drew Marquardt in the Faculty of Science. He's working on a compact accelerator. There's only, I want to say there's maybe one in Canada, but maybe it might only be internationally right now. But what this compact accelerator would do is produce medical isotopes and be used as a revolutionary cancer therapy. And we can locate that. He's working to bring that to Windsor right now, and that'd be something completely unique in our health ecosystem that we could do here. Then on the engineering side, we have Dr. Narayan Carr, who's a Canadian Tier 1 research chair in electric vehicles, which means he is one of Canada's foremost researchers in electric motor design. So there's only a few of these in Canada, and we have one here in Windsor, Essex. His lab just underwent a $4 million renovation to create one of the best testing environments for electric motors in Canada. And his team works on everything from designing new prototypes to new materials to make vehicles lighter but faster and more conductive. Like, there's some really fascinating work there. Then you have Shield Automotive Cybersecurity working on how to secure vehicles, which we never think about of, well, our vehicle is now more computer than it is vehicle. So how are we making sure that our data privacy and our trips are secure? Then we have Dr. John Trant working on chemical processes for distilling and brewing, among a thousand other things he does around biomedicine and peptides. But, you know, he's also responsible for opening the first wine and beer lab. So now at the University of Windsor, we have a wine and beer lab where distillers and wineries can come to campus and make sure that their products are, you know, to the standards that they want and are good for the public. And what all of this kind of says to me, like, I just kind of four people out there, but what this says to me is we have so much work happening at the University of Windsor that has so many broad implications. And it's inspiring to see that we have some of the brightest minds in the world right here, and they're having a positive impact on the community. To me, that is so much fun. It's fun to be a part of.
Tech Talk continues. From business acceleration, building and engaging the tech community, and championing tech and innovation. Follow WeTech Alliance on social media or visit them on the web.